All right, so here I am at adbuyer.com, and this is one of those exchanges, resellers. And the great thing about these is that most people don't know that resellers exist. And our favorite site to start testing this stuff is adbuyer.com. And one of the reasons we love this is because it sells remnant inventory from Right Media Network and other ad networks. And if you'll remember, remnant inventory is inventory that they have left over and don't sell, and then you can get it at a discount rate. And so Right Media is Yahoo's ad exchange platform. So they have inventory from every network that uses that exchange and allows you to target specific networks and their functions. And you can do this by selecting manual targeting instead of their audience score. So I'm going to log in, which I've already done here, and go to start a new campaign. So I can show you real quick. So what you would do is sign up for an account. What you have to do is put up a $50 deposit, which they'll credit, and you end up getting that free, essentially. You just have to keep an eye on it if you're running your ads, because it will refresh that $50 every day. But that's not any different than how any of the other networks, especially even at the basic level like Google Ad Network. So what it does is it's going to take us here to audience targeting, and we can, target specific regions if that's what we're after, and also languages. For this purpose, let's just say that I'm only going after English. So we'll untarget all those and choose that, and we're going with United States traffic. So we'll go to next. Okay, so here we are, and we can go to campaign settings, and what we have is an option to either target by audience, target sites or categories, in an audience score. And you can test this out in various ways, but what we suggest that you do is target sites and categories. And what this is going to let us do is to choose Right Media. And the reason we want to do that is because this allows us to see what networks are converting for you and which one shows promise. And we do this by dumping a test into every network in the Right Media network, which will show us conversions on a limited budget. And it allows us to vet out what networks have a shot at working and save a lot of money and time testing the various networks. So that's why we suggest you do this. So what we'll do is choose Right Media here, and you'll see that we have 115 selected. And just to edit context targeting, I'll show you all the networks that pop up. And so you can see that we can run a test across all these networks. And then with our reporting, we'll be able to see which ones are performing, and we'll zero in on those ones. And so that's how you get this campaign set up. Another thing we can do here with AdBuyer is head on over to whatrunswhere.com, and we can do a competitive search or a search within our niche to see what's popping up. We can take a look at particular campaigns and see what networks they're running on. And we can assume that if they've been running over time that they're successful. Then we can come over here to AdBuyer, and let's say that they a health offer was running on Technorati and Rubicon. So we can target these two here in adbuyer.com without having to go over to Technorati or Rubicon and putting down a big buy and insertion order and commitment. And we can just test it out here for a minimum amount of dollars, and that's another way that we can limit our risk yet hit some of the big networks. Alright, so here we are at campaign budget and pricing. As you can see, it's pretty typical as far as the layout goes. So we can name our campaign, we set our daily budget, we can set up our maximum average media costs, or CPM, and then we can do timing, and here's our frequency cap, and we can also target by days of the week and times of the day. So those are some great targeting options that we have there. And after this step, we'll be able to upload our banner, and that essentially is the whole process as far as getting the ad up and delivered and ready to run. Alright, so let's fast forward a little bit and assume that we've ran some testing and we've identified a few networks that we think might have some promise. So what we can do next is go to them directly. And we know that the remnant inventory is okay, or it at least converts for us on our page through AdBuyer. And I want to make mention that most likely you won't be profitable right off the bat using AdBuyer. Most media buy campaigns don't make money from day one. They need to be optimized. And if you're profiting right off the bat, jump on those networks ASAP and start raking in some cash. For example, If you're testing on AdBuyer and you see that a network A is bringing you in a lot of conversions over your CPA, but no other networks are bringing in conversions, network A would be a good place to start working on optimizing and buying directly with them to get profitable. So when you go direct to a network, there are a few things that you need to hammer out with the network that gives you the best leverage. So your out clause, this is how much time you need to give them to pause a campaign if you want to stop it. You want to try to get it to 24 hours, maximum 48 hours, and a frequency cap. So as we mentioned before, this is how many times your ad will show to a user per day. We personally like a frequency cap maximum of 2 every 24 hours and maybe 3. So you got demographic targeting also that you can work with them. If you know the demographics of your offer, the network can try and exclude irrelevant inventory. This is going to save you a lot of money. Then you have your CPA. You want to make sure to place pixels and track your CPA. It's not like a pay-per-click or social campaign. The network needs this data to be able to help you optimize placements. Network buys are like black boxes. They do most of the placement optimization. But you can always make recommendations based on refers that you see, where the traffic's coming from in your own tracking. So those are some things that we can do once we've placed our ad buyer, we've done some tracking, and we see what's going on.